Hey, what's up everyone? It's me back with another breakdown of my personal marketing playbook. Today I'm going to walk you through exactly how I use Vizard to run professional creative tests on long-form content and turn the winners into high-performing short clips. This isn't some overhyped ad, it is just me showing you a workflow that actually saves time and helps you identify what truly resonates with your specific audience. My main goal is to help you post smarter, not harder, so let's dive right into the process. Picture this. You have been posting the same style of clips for a while, but engagement is slipping, your view rates are looking meh, and you can tell your audience is getting tired. Maybe your reach is fine, but the actual conversions or follower counts are just not where they need to be right now. That is the exact moment I like to pull my long-form master file into Vizard to run a structured creative experiment. Instead of blindly guessing which cut or caption will land, Vizard lets me automatically generate a massive library of clip options to test and compare. The first thing I do is open my project in Vizard and select my source video, which is usually a long-form interview, a detailed tutorial, or a past stream. Vizard's auto-editing feature is a massive time saver because it intelligently scans the footage for punchy moments, sound bites, and emotional peaks. It then creates a full stack of short, ready-to-post clips without me having to manually scrub through hours of footage. While you can manually add your own markers if you really want to, I usually let the AI handle that first pass to give me a wide variety of options to choose from. Next up, I start to tweak the variations because Vizard gives you multiple edits of each moment with different crop ratios and subtitle styles. For a real test, I deliberately keep variety in my mix, including a few vertical clips, some square ones, and a couple with bolder, more aggressive subtitle designs. I also make sure to include a version that starts with an attention-grabbing, on-screen hook versus one that just lets the scene breathe for context. You want to vary the specific creative elements that actually matter, like the thumbnail frame, the opening 3 seconds, the caption, and the call to action. If you are a creator who loves to test different overlays and headlines, Vizard makes it incredibly easy to export lots of slightly different versions in just a few minutes. When it comes to your captions and post copy, I treat them exactly like headlines in a high-stakes ad test. Write 3 or 4 different caption variants, such as a direct hook, a curiosity-driven line, a value proposition, and maybe even a playful meme-style caption. Make sure you keep those captions short for TikTok and Shorts, but you can feel free to go slightly longer for Instagram or Reels if you think it fits. Also, try a couple of different calls to action, like asking people to follow, asking them to visit your link, or simply asking a question to drive engagement in the comments. Vizard's content calendar is a big win here because it helps you queue all these variants without having to juggle files manually on your computer. Now here is the testing plan that I personally use, which involves picking one audience and running all the variations for about a week. The main goal is to gather short-term data to identify exactly which clip, caption, and thumbnail combination performs measurably better than the others. You do not want to over-optimize for every possible variable at once, so keep your audience constant and let the creative work do the talking for you. If you change too many targeting settings at the same time, you will have no idea whether your creative choices or your audience caused the lift in performance. After publishing the entire batch, you have to give it time to breathe, so I usually let it run for 5 to 10 days depending on the volume. Vizard's analytics and the content calendar make it very easy to see views, completion rates, and engagement across all your platforms in one view. Once you have reached a few hundred to a couple thousand impressions per variant, start breaking the results down to find the winner. I personally like to export my impressions and conversions per creative for significance testing to make sure the results are real. If you are doing paid tests, use conversion counts, but for organic content, just use your views to engagement ratio or your watch-through rate as your primary metric. Pro tip: I always use a statistical significance calculator to compare my winners because it removes the guesswork from my decision making. Here is an example workflow I actually run. Say clip A got 2,000 impressions and 20 engagements, while clip B got 900 impressions and 6 engagements. Plug those numbers into the calculator and you will get an estimated improvement percentage and a confidence level for your results. Sometimes the AI feeling favorite is not statistically significant yet, which means you definitely need more data before making a final call. Aim for 95% confidence if you are making a permanent change. But if you are just iterating, you can use lower thresholds to guide your next round of testing. In my tests, the creative itself, meaning the actual video frame and the hook, usually creates the largest variance in performance. Captions and calls to action do move the needle, but not nearly as much as a stronger opening 3 seconds or a much clearer thumbnail image. So if you only test one thing, test the creative cut, and Vizard is perfect for this because it generates multiple edit points for you super quickly. I ran a test where one frame had a 51% better conversion estimate versus another, but it was only 84% certain, meaning I needed more exposure. Another headline test gave me 81% improvement with 95% certainty, so that one was clearly a winner that I knew I had to keep. Once the data shows a clear winner, I build the final asset by duplicating the top performing clip inside Vizard and cleaning up the subtitles. Then, I use the auto-schedule feature to plan my posts across all my platforms at the exact best cadence for my audience. Vizard's scheduler will automatically space them out so you are not spamming the same followers with multiple posts at once. After I push that best version live, I pause or retire the underperformers so they stop eating up my impressions and muddying my learning. Then I run a head-to-head test, the new optimized clip versus the control version I had been running previously. Keep the same time window when comparing them, like the last 7 days versus the last 7 days, so the data is completely apples to apples. A quick word comparing other tools. Sure, you can manually clip in Premiere or hire an editor, but most either cost way more or only do one thing. For example, pay-to-use editors are expensive and slow, and some autoclip tools only identify moments but do not let you generate multiple caption or thumbnail variants. Vizard combines the auto-editing, the clip variation, and the cross-platform scheduling in one place, which is exactly why I use it for this loop. So to recap the flow, import the video, generate variants, publish a batch, let it run, analyze the data, pick the winner, and repeat. This whole approach turns a single long video into a testing lab where you are systematically finding the parts that actually convert. You can do it without a huge budget or hiring out an editor, plus the auto schedule means you can maintain a steady posting rhythm even when you are busy. If you want to see a full run-through next time, I can record the clicks and show you the significance math in real time. Anyway, I hope this was helpful, so go plug a long video into Vizard, spin up some variants, let it run, and come back and tell me which cut surprised you. Catch you later, and happy testing.